In a previous video, Madison wrote about how she and her husband are always getting into fights.
Hmm.
And you said that one of the problems is a lack of intimacy.
Hmm.
So, how do you address that intimacy?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what I said in the previous video exactly was, there's stability and there's intimacy, and lots of couples when they do things like they get married and they have kids, and stability becomes really important, and they will privilege stability and they will sacrifice intimacy, because what happens is nobody wants to bring up something that's going to rock the boat. Nobody wants to raise the anxiety. So indeed, if the problem is that they haven't, as a couple, they haven't been able to address things without freaking out. And let me say something about why they freak out. Why do they get into fights? Because of lack of intimacy. They get into fights because the fights protect them from actually talking about what they're scared to talk about. What if the problem they're scared to talk about is, oh my God, I'm worried that we're really not compatible. And look, I'm not saying that's necessarily the case. I'm just saying that's a huge worry for folks. I'm worried that if I bring this up, you're gonna freak out. So they don't bring things up, and what ends up happening is something sits there and it festers, and they try and bring it up, and that's too scary, and so they get really defensive, or they get really offensive, or they just start yelling at each other, and it doesn't get them anywhere. So how do they actually tolerate that anxiety so that they can experience actual intimacy, actual honesty with each other? The way you do that is by what I call having faith, oddly enough. And I'm not talking about religious faith necessarily. I'm talking about a mindset that says there's something right about this whole business of living. There's something right about this whole business of loving someone, even when it's painful and scary. There's something right about it. That's what lets you tolerate the anxiety. And when you tolerate the anxiety, then you're willing to, what people often talk about, being vulnerable. You're willing to actually say what's on your mind in a way that is respectful of your partner, but nevertheless saying what might be upsetting. You say what's honest for you, and you're able to hear your partner saying what's honest for them. And when that happens, those are moments of intimacy. And moments of intimacy are unpredictable, unlike stability. And again, I keep saying stability is important too, but intimacy is usually where the problem is. Moments of intimacy are unpredictable. You don't know where that's going to go. Will you end up concluding, oh my God, we're two good people, but maybe not for each other? Well, that could happen. Alternatively, what often happens in moments of intimacy is you discover connection. You discover that the two of you are more than the sum of your parts. You discover the sense of, oh, I know there was a reason why I wanted to be with you. And that's really exciting when that happens. Want to hear more about this? Follow this channel for more.